What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I wanted to start off a new series today looking at the upcoming college football season if we were to have one, and the quarterback competitions from around the country, and I thought that there was no better place to start other than the University of Alabama and the quarterback competition between Mac Jones and Bryce Young. Now, conventional wisdom would say, especially in a Nick Saban system, that Mac Jones has all the advantage given that he has the experience and that he played very well against Auburn and Michigan. However, when you pull in the number one overall quarterback in the nation and someone as talented as Bryce Young, it's hard to keep him on the sidelines. So today I wanted to take a look at each quarterback, kind of look over some film and some throws, and kind of give a synopsis of what each does well and what each could work on. And I wanted to start off with Mac Jones at Auburn. And I have to be honest, he really surprised me with his level of growth from Auburn to Michigan. There were some glaring problems in the Auburn game that he was really able to fix by the Michigan game. Let's start it off with this throw right here to Devontae Smith. The mechanics Mac Jones has are not the issue. His mechanics are very sound. There are only two problems with this throw. First, the ball hits the red line when it needs to go into the yellow square to give Devontae Smith a chance to really make a play at the ball. And secondly, he stares Devontae Smith down the entire time. This problem showed itself multiple times in this game. Although that's tough because Alabama's coaching staff could have oversimplified the playbook for him in these situations. What isn't tough is this throw right here, which is completely and utterly on Mac Jones. That same issue we just talked about staring down a receiver, comes to show itself. Not only did he stare down Judy, he just flat out wasn't on the same page as Judy. About 3 yards after the first down marker, Judy flattens his route and Mac Jones doesn't think he's going to do so, but this isn't on Judy. Mac Jones never takes his eyes off of where he wants to throw the football, and the safety telegraphs it perfectly. There were two options over there, and the safety ran right between them and got the big pick six. And this was the big problem in this game. All the good mechanics in the world can't save you from a bad decision like that. Because if this ball is well thrown, he has Judy open. And this isn't to question Mac Jones' decision-making, which he does have good decision-making. But the question must be asked is how much did the coaches simplify this offense so that Mac Jones could rely on the stellar talent Alabama had at receiver? How much of this did they just have him making one read? And even if that's the case, you still have to have a quarterback that can fit it into a window like this. Which is why Mac Jones gives me so much hope, is even though he had signs of being young, he was able to deliver balls that only seasoned vets usually make, like this one right here. This is a college football starter level throw. And obviously the coaches have faith in Mac Jones. As seen right here, 3rd and goal, they're letting him throw on the goal line. His patience in the pocket is uncanny. Look at this right here, a defender bearing down on him and he delivers a nice strike. With Auburn, it really was about taking the bad with the good with Mac Jones, but he showed some really nice promise. Which makes it all the more intriguing and frustrating, I guess, when you look at throws like this, because it is just impossible to tell how much of this is on Mac Jones and how much of it is on the coaching staff. Except on a throw like this, it's very hard to put any of this on the Alabama coaching staff. Devontae Smith is never open. In fact, Mac Jones is lucky that he didn't throw 3 pick sixes in this game because of a throw just like this right here. And make no mistake about it, I'm not blaming Alabama's coaching staff, but I have to wonder if it was oversimplified so that Mac only had to make one read and he took it literal and only made one read consistently in this game. Like right here. Before the ball is hiked, he already knows he's going to throw it to Najee, and nothing is going to change that. It doesn't matter that he has a defender bearing down on him or that Najee isn't even ready for the ball. That ball is getting thrown, like it or not. It is this sort of decision-making that is kind of concerning. It makes me question just who Mac Jones is. Now, on the flip side for you Bama fans, you should be happy in that Mac Jones showed enough after that and into the Michigan game to kind of answer some of those questions. And now my only real question about Mac Jones is he as good as the numbers say, or is it the superb talent that Alabama has at wide receiver? Because Mac doesn't have to beat Tua, he just has to be proficient enough to get the ball to these incredible playmakers, and Alabama still has enough of them coming into next season. Against Michigan, however, a different quarterback entirely showed up. This throw right here pretty much well sums up the growth. In Auburn, he stared down receivers all game long. This game right here, he opens up the first offensive drive by looking off the safety, staring at Devontae Smith as soon as the ball is hiked, and then flipping the eyes and hips to just throw an absolute beauty to Jerry Jeudy running down the field. This was kind of the theme of the Michigan game, and he continued to impress. This right here, showing incredible patience in the pocket and delivering an anticipatory throw based on Jerry Jeudy and where he will be. And I have to say, Mac Jones' pocket presence is actually incredibly impressive for a guy that only started 3 real games last season. He was able to consistently show calmness in the pocket that is usually only reserved for seasoned vets that have constantly faced these type of defensive formations, and Mac Jones was getting it done on his 3rd official start. Before this game and after the Auburn game, Mac Jones reminded me a lot of Jake Coker, but after watching the Michigan game, I think he could actually be better. While Alabama has stellar talent all over the field, Najee Harris, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle all returning, I think Mac Jones's mechanics, arm strength, and decision-making is all good enough for Alabama to still be elite, but the offense won't look the same. Alabama is going to rely on a 10 to 15 yard chip offense more so than they had with Tua Tagovailoa. With Tua in the Sark offense, they were able to rattle off consistent gains within the 5 to 10 yard basis because Tua's timing and accuracy is just flat out superb. And yes, Mac Jones isn't Tua, but with this much talent and the talent Mac Jones has, he doesn't have to be Tua. However, the talent this next kid, Bryce Young, has is flat out unquestionable. Coming from Mater Dei, he's no stranger to playing against elite competition, with Mater Dei playing the elite high school programs. But even then, what Bryce Young was able to do on a week-in and week-out basis is flat-out phenomenal. The arm strength, decision-making, timing, and accuracy are all uncanny. And he's drawn a lot of comparisons to Tua Tagovailoa. However, I think Top Billin Sports, when they released a video the other day analyzing Bryce Young, hit the nail on the head in saying that he is a modern-day Brett Favre. The uncanny play style and the ability to make a play whenever anything breaks down from any arm angle is just flat out elite. I mean, you'd look at a throw like this one right here where he's rolling out to the right, escaping the pressure, and is still able to deliver an absolute rope. I mean, this ball could not have been thrown any more perfect, and it's hard to believe that it came from somebody who's 5'11". But don't let the short stature get you confused. Bryce Young has an absolute cannon. There's not too many throws on the football field, if any, that he can't make. He shows off consistent elite arm strength, up there with the best of them. But I think what stands out the most with Bryce Young is 2 things. 1, his timing, and 2, his absolutely insane accuracy. I mean, no matter where he's throwing the ball, it is guaranteed to get there incredibly accurate. Throws like these are absolutely the norm for him, whereas receivers just simply put their hands up and boom, there's the ball and they're able to make a play. But I think this next throw really showcases what Bryce Young does well, and that's his uncanny arm ability. If we look right here, there's a defender bearing down on him and he's not able to set his feet. In fact, as soon as he throws, he has to do a spin move in order to avoid being hit. But look at the placement of this ball. I mean, I couldn't have run out there and handed the ball any better to this receiver. This placement, this arm talent is just not natural for someone of his age. It is flat out elite. And it is these elite intangibles that he has that even prompts the question, could he win over the starting job? I mean, honestly, it's hard to believe that a true freshman could come in there and beat out Mac Jones, especially given the fact that Mac Jones played surprisingly really very well, and I think can actually be very successful within this Alabama offense led by Sark. But you don't earn the number 1 overall quarterback in the nation for nothing. And with all the talent Bama has, just imagine what they look like with this kid at the helm. With his ability to throw a touch ball, his timing, and his uncanny accuracy, he could really maximize what Sarkisian wants to do. And he could even run that Alabama Tua Tagovailoa offense without much of a drop-off from Tua. And make no mistake, once again, I'm not comparing him to Tua or even saying that he will be better or as good as Tua. I'm simply saying that stylistically, he matches the Sarkisian quick-based offense really, really well. And as we can see with this throw right here, he has no problem throwing on the run. But that's not the most impressive part of this throw to me. Given that he was the number 1 dual-threat quarterback in the nation, it's impressive to me just how disciplined Bryce Young is. I mean, just look at this running lane that he has. Given how athletic he is, he could easily take off and get a good gain, but he understands that if he keeps his eyes up and remains patient, that he could really get a big play. This sort of discipline and cerebral play is very rare for a high school kid or even a kid within their first few years at college. Aside from the discipline and understanding when to run, his ability to anticipate where a receiver will be is elite. I mean, look at this right here and let's freeze it. That yellow dot is where he throws it to. He knows where his receiver should be out of the break, and he knows where to lead him so that his receiver is the only one that has a chance to make a play on this ball. He's got a great understanding of where his receivers will be coming out of breaks, and he has an even better understanding of where to place a ball to where his receiver is the only one that can make a play on it, like this right here. And even with all of this incredible throwing ability, let's not forget that Bryce Young is a mobile quarterback. And he's not anywhere as fast as Kyler Murray, but his running style reminds you a lot of that. He is incredibly elusive, and he's got a lot of plays where he absolutely breaks defenders' ankles because he has so much explosion and elusiveness. And I'm not trying to paint Bryce Young like he's the perfect prospect. In fact, there are two things that I think Bryce Young needs to work on, and the first is this right here. When the play breaks down, Bryce Young, like Tua, is used to being so prolific that they can make a play anywhere. And like this right here, it ends up working. But at the college level, this could easily be a sack, this could easily be a strip, fumble, or this could be an interception. All of which could be a bad deal. The second thing Bryce Young, I can see, needs to work on is how he carries the ball in the pocket. If we look right here when he spins, that ball is very low. And in college, it takes nothing for a defensive end to swipe it. Aside from that, though, those two very, very easy fixes, Bryce Young is complete of a quarterback as I've seen in a long time. And I would even go far as to say is that if he was 6'3" to 6'4", he would be the unanimous #1 player in the nation. And that's not a shot at Brian Brees. Bryce Young is just flat out incredible, though. When you have a high school kid that shows this accuracy, this timing, and this level of poise in the pocket, it's easy to see why they're as heralded as they are. So do I think Bryce Young will start this year? Well, that's hard to say. If it wasn't for coronavirus completely dismantling summer workouts, I actually think so. I think his ability is so uncanny it's hard to keep off the field. But given the current situation of college football, I actually think Mac Jones plays the good majority of snaps this year. However, don't be surprised at all if week 1 you see Bryce Young trot out onto the field, because it is hard to keep this level of talent off of the field. That's about it for this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know what you would like to see with further content. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, this is the first video in this series, and we will be continuing it with more quarterback competitions coming up. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe.